Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building. Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown. Here comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, Kick Dig by here, and hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast with my man Joey Shakes. Joey, what is going on?
What's going on, man? Nothing. Just getting ready, getting through the combine right now. Seeing what the Eagles' plan is going to this really busy Howie Roseman having his work cut out for him this offseason. Definitely.
That's right. Philly 500 finally talks to Joey Shakes. We couldn't find Joey Shakes for a few days. He was gone to the world. I couldn't get in touch. I was texting him, and nothing was going through. Like, what the hell was going on?
Yeah, I had it for some reason on the iPhone. There's like this SOS message that pops up, and it's like an emergency thing, and it was blocking me from getting texts and calls. And I was wondering because I texted Philly at 2:07, and I said, when are we doing? Are we streaming at 3? And then I thought something was wrong. I didn't know what was going on, so I apologize.
And I'm texting him, I'm calling him, I'm driving him, was getting in accidents, calling him, I'm flicking off police officers on the phone, going by him, calling him. And it's like goes right to voicemail,
Yeah.
It's like crazy. It's crazy. Well, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Kyle, what's going on? Nick, Hose, Ray, Eagles Nation. Eagles Nation says, why are you late for the 1,005,676 time? Because we can. That's my answer to you. Jerry, what's going on? Samuel Rowe, what's happening? Ray, what is going on? Dynasty, JJ Rock Philly, what's up? Eagles has landed is here. HTG Sports. What is going on? Bleeding Kelly Green, Clark Roberts, show enough. 03, thank you for the super chat, my man. He goes, yo, shake that dag down 500. Bust those balls out. What the hell are you doing? I'm going to bust them out around the table.
Twister. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even pronounce that, dude. It's like, that's like too hard. David Super, he goes, Mr. Wayne says, draft Richardson's dump Hurts and his contract. Oh my gosh, Richardson.
There we go.
Richardson. Dude, that dude's going to I think he's got tremendous upside. And he's probably got to be right. He's got to be top 10 now, right? He's going to go with the top 10, top 5. Do you think he goes top 5?
Someone's going to take a chance.
Anthony Richardson is going to go, and you're going to get. Okay, and I'm just going to go into this because this may be an interesting one with Joey. This may be where me and Joey actually diverge on opinions here. Okay, so this could be interesting because it doesn't happen a lot. But I think you're going to have at least 3 or 4 quarterbacks go in the first round. Okay. So I think the 10th pick is the perfect pick, right? I think you have a lot of options. However, I also think you're going to get Jalen Carter to drop to 10. Now, if he's got 2 misdemeanors, I think if there's no more charges like lying to cops, fleeing a scene, if it doesn't become a felony and it's just those 2 charges and the Eagles talk to him and they're all right with what they hear, do you think the Eagles take him at 10? Because I do. I think they take him in a second, dude.
In the second round?
No, at number 10.
Oh, at 10. No, and I think, the Eagles are always willing to give second chances to players, and I think this is a perfect spot. You let your emotions roll out in this organization and the way they have players here. So I mean, I think it definitely helped. There's no doubt about it. And like But there was original news before all this stuff came out was he wasn't working out at the combine. So he wasn't going to do any of these workouts, which I don't know if he has something to hide or he just doesn't want to risk injury, or some of these guys just, don't do it for that reason, but definitely helps 100%. It might lessen his draft stock a little bit. And I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think it helped us tremendously.
Okay. Well, good. That's the first part of this.
Right.
Because there's a second part, okay?
Yeah.
03, thank you for the super chat. He goes, I'm glad you're all back. I left YouTube since the bowl. Hey, I don't blame you, man. It's been hard. It's been hard for me, too, because we haven't missed any time since the Super Bowl. And trying to kind of get over it while doing videos is tough, man. It's tough. JJ Rock Philly, thank you for super chat. He goes, we have a lot to talk about and a lot to take care of this all season. Oh, my gosh. We have so much to take care of this all season, so much to talk about. Okay, second part of this.
Uh-oh.
If Jalen Carter goes early or something happens and he falls, I think that the Eagles should take Bijan Robinson at 10. And here's why. Damn Siri. Here's why. You're not replacing Hargrave, James Bradbury, TJ Edwards, Kaiser White. You're not replacing all these guys in 1 year with draft picks. Even if you draft, let's say you take Gonzalez or you take, Johnny Ringo. I call him Johnny Ringo. But even if you take these guys, you're not going to have the defense you had last year. So why not make your offense better and get a prolific, generational type possible running back for 5 years under a rookie contract and try to go out and have a better offense than you had last year? There you go. I said my piece.
Okay. So I'm gonna flip it around a little bit. So I don't mind. The thing is, you have 11 free agents on defense, which is crazy. Okay, you're losing a lot of guys. Howie Roseman already mentioned even that first press conference he had that he's not going to be able to re-sign everybody. I think we all kind of knew that. And yes, it's very intriguing to sign a Bijan Robinson, a Jahmyr Gibbs, or something, in the first round if you really want to do it. The problem I have is this. Mm-hmm. I feel like because you got to take advantage. I understand. I think what you want to do is you want to take advantage of the offense, and why not? If you already know your defense isn't going to be prolific next year, where they can't bring everybody back, but with Sean Desai as the DC, a Vic Fangio apprentice in coaching as a quality guy for a few years, and then becoming the defensive coordinator in 21 with less talent, still having a top 10 defense in 21 with the Bears when he was a coordinator. He takes chances. So how do you complement not having a lot of, having a loaded roster? You got to take chances in these games to be more aggressive and, create ways to get pressure. Right. Getting a Bijan would be fantastic. Not only, you're going to have 4 years with a 5th-year option, so you're going to have a lot of time. If you're planning to have your offense score, 35 to 40 something points a game, and that's what you're kind of looking at. The flip of the coin to all that for me is that I love it, but I feel like they need to just go out and trade for a running back like DeAndre Swift, the guy that has 1 more year left on his deal. Howie likes trading for guys with 1 more year left on their deals for cheap as a little prove-it type thing for them. So it could be a DeAndre Swift. I'm not saying it's going to be a Dalvin Cook. I'm not saying they're going after any of these free agent running backs. There's a lot of them. Obviously, you're not re-signing Miles Sanders. He's going to cost a lot of money. Josh Jacobs looks like he's getting tagged by the Raiders. A few other things going on. But it's really hard for me because of what you need on this defense. 11 free agents. We need someone to pair up with Jordan Davis. We don't know if Brandon Graham is coming back. Your edge is okay with Reddick and Sweat, but is that really enough? Are you going to move Kyron Johnson from outside linebacker to defensive end? There's just way too many holes on this defense right now for me to say, let's just go get a running back. But I get that other side of, let's just go all in on this offense while you have an A.J. Brown complement to Devontae Smith. You have Dallas Goedert. You have this offensive line that barely has any changes right now. with Cam Jurgens moving in that right guard, and hopefully with Kelsey staying, which we think he's going to stay. So those, I'd rather not do that, but if we did it, I would still, I still would be excited for it because I wouldn't be able to help myself.
Yeah.
So.
Dank says Gainwell is running back number 1. I'm going to be honest with you, Dank. I like Gainwell, but I do not feel comfortable enough to have him as my number 1 going into the next season at this point. I think he showed some great stuff in the playoffs, but I still don't know. When you talk about like DeAndre Swift, I love DeAndre Swift, but he can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy.
True.
And if you go out and you spend money on a running back, then it's going to cost you more than a draft pick. I mean, who are you going to get? You're going to have to really lower your running backs from what you had in Miles Sanders. Big Chris is not taking a running back top 10. You're living in the old days 500. That's my point. See, the league is going one way where they don't want to draft running backs and they don't want to take that position early, which means that if you actually possibly take that position, you're actually getting great value because you're going against the grain. It's like, I think it was a 2019 draft. I want to say there was a draft and it was heavy defense. And everybody said the Eagles are going to go defense because this draft is heavy on defense. What did they do the first 3 picks? They went offense. They went, why can't I even think his name? Andre Dillard, Miles Sanders, and then JJ, the Umbrella Man. They went 3 guys in a heavy defense. Why? Because the value was the offense. So to me, maybe at 10, that's where you do something that throws everything off a little bit, you know? And if he falls to 18 or something, 19, 20, and you want to trade up, I'm okay with that too. Carl Roberts, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, Hurts could get a mega deal, 8+ year mega deal. That's team friendly for renegotiating friendly. Yeah, well, the thing with the Hurts deal is this, and here's what I think people make a mistake on. Wait, I have 2 member things I want to do real quick. Member for 22 months, Hulk. Thank you for being a great supporter of Dingbat Nation. He goes, I think we trade back based off who we're taking at 2. What you mean with the number? Which trade? You think we trade 10? And then Dalton Gregg says, member for 13 months, thank you for your support. He goes, yo, you the man, Denzel. Thank you, man. Thank you. But what the hell was I saying? Now I forgot.
The opposites of drafting from what heavy draft.
I was listening to Howie's, and I've said this in my videos. Yeah. I've said this. We talked about this last week. You can't go and do what everybody else does. Otherwise, you're playing catch up, and you're not really getting better. The Eagles got in 2017. They built that team doing things that nobody else was doing. I feel like they did that last year too. Trading for A.J. Brown, a first-round pick, and paying him $20 million is not the norm, okay? True. And they went and they did that. I think they've got to look at this roster and say, we're not going to fill every hole on defense. But as you were saying, we got Sean Desai. We're going to be a little more aggressive. We're going to take more chances. Maybe we use a little more free agent money in defense. And early in the draft, maybe first-round pick, man, boom, take that running back. Make sure you're scoring 30-plus points.
Yeah, what's your strength, right? What's your strength right now on this team? What's your strength?
It's your offense.
Right.
It's your offense. Right. Yeah. And it's going to be good no matter what. But what if it's ridiculously good? What if it's so good that even if you're giving up points defensively, you're still beating everybody because you're scoring 35 points a game? They literally are on the verge. Like, you get a generational type running back, you could do that. You could actually have that kind of offense. I'm not saying it's the way to go, but I think that's how I'm kind of looking at free agency, like trying to think about attacking this roster in a different way, you know? Right. TK the Brewer, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, Eagles all season, so let's go Battlehawks. Cow. There you go. Cow. Yeah, I can't talk. But anyways, we got 312 people total in the chat. That's about 300 people more than I thought we were going to get tonight. So thank you guys for being here. If you new, hit the link in the description. So about my man Joey Shakes, if you're in mine, definitely thank you so much. Philosophobic. Thank you for Super Chat. He goes, there are great running backs in the draft. There are some really good running backs in the draft. But why not get the best one? Like, why not come away with the best one? Just close your eyes and think about this for a second. Think about adding Bijan Robinson to an offense that has the best offensive line in football, 2 great wide receivers, a great tight end, and you tell me that's not a scary offense. Even if you lose something on defense, guess what? You're going to be okay. You're going to still win a lot of games. And I would be against running back if let's say they just drafted Jalen Hurts and they were 2-3 years away from going to a Super Bowl. But I think they're a team that is ready to go right back, especially in a weak NFC. So to me, taking a running back there is not necessarily a bad idea. I mean, we talk about not re-signing running backs, right? Only giving them rookie deals. Why not get a guy for 5 years locked up?
I know.
Barron says, imagine if the Eagles double dipped into Georgia defensive players again. Kylie Ringo. Is it Kylie Ringo or Kaylee Ringo?
Keely. It's Keely.
Or Keely? Okay. Keely. I like Johnny Ringo. And Nolan Smith. Yes. That would be great. Listen, I'm telling you what, and Philosophobic, David Super Che goes, just like the running back for Seahawks and Jets last year. Yeah. I know. Look, I know there are good running backs in there. Lions Den says, "Hey, Philly 500, what do you think about Derrick Henry for the Eagles?" See, that's what I'm talking about. If the Eagles did something like that, it would shock everybody. How do you stop the Eagles if they had Derrick Henry as a running back?
That'd be really scary.
Like, how can you do it? Like I would love it. I would even say Saquon Barkley. If you want to spend free agent money on an offensive player, let's say you go offense. Let's say here's what you do in free agency. Let's say you get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson taken care of. You get Brandon Graham back on a home team discount, and then you go and you sign a Saquon Barkley or make a trade for a Derrick Henry, and then you want to go heavy draft defense. I think that would be perfect. But how do you stop that? Even if you're going to give up points next year, nobody's going to be able to keep up with you offensively. Am I right? Or am I wrong?
No, they could definitely go that direction. Like if you look at it, like, if you want to complete your offense more, like I said, like we said earlier, like you want to score more points. If you feel like take advantage of, like, you have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown still on this team right now, like they're still on contract. AJ Brown starts his new contract of his new deal this year. There's barely any changes on the offensive line. Dallas Goedert's still here. I mean, it's a good idea. It's not a bad idea. Like, we gave Gannon way too much this past year. Like, when we lost one player, at high ankle sprain with Jordan Davis, he added 2 players in Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh, and it really did help. But the adjustments and the passive, just how passive he was this year, and it still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. There's a lot of talk about even the Super Bowl. I mean, I know we should be over it by now, but it just gets to a point.
I'm never going to get over that Super Bowl.
He had so much talent. I mean, the excuse in 21 was he didn't have enough talent to run his defense. Now he had more than enough than how he got him, and just couldn't roll with it. It really, really ticks me off.
It does. It ticks me off too. Army 63B, a member for 29 months of Tinfoil Dingbats. Thank you so much for all your support. Yo, what's up, boys? Great job all year. Keep it up. Pause. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. It means a lot. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not saying I know. I'm not saying it's the right answer. I'm just saying I think you got to do something a little different than the same thing. I just don't know that you're going to, player for player, be able to replace James Bradbury, Javon Hargrave, all these guys. I just don't think you can go player for player. So how do you build a roster that is ready to come back? I think you drop in like a Derrick Henry, a Saquon Barkley, or Bijan Robinson. You drop a guy like that in this offense. I think it's next level. I think it's hard to beat them, dude.
Yeah.
Eagles Landed says last night Mark Holmes admitted on his show he was jealous of the Eagles' success. His cult members told him not to say that. Holmes is upset, Jerry, saying they can't give Dak a lot of help. Dallas is Dallas is going to do nothing. Either Jerry Jones is lying and he's going to do a lot, or they're going to be the same exact team next year. But I think Dak Prescott's $49 million against their cap. $49 million. That's crazy. Robert Davis Super J goes, Philly 500. I need a drug test from you, bro. You got to get the best cornerback at 10. So who's the best cornerback in your opinion? Is it Christian Gonzalez?
It's getting to that point now. Like his testing was amazing. It was like a 4.4, I think he ran a 4.3, whatever it was. I mean, very fluid with his movement. Looks just looks natural. Just fantastic, man. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, Witherspoon, I think, had the hamstring, so he couldn't test. Keely Ringo, and I think Keely Ringo and Witherspoon are the two most physical corners in this draft. Keely Ringo's a bigger body, and a lot. Really, you have options at 10, and you have options, down the line with that second first rounder as well. But there are a lot of good corners, and this is where it kind of annoys me a little bit, because as much as we want to complete this offense, get a monster running back with Hurts. If you're not drafting anybody to pair up with Jordan Davis, if you're not, Big Play Slay's a free agent after this year. Max is a free agent in a couple seasons. You don't have a lot of depth at cornerback. I mean, who do you have? You have no one's proven in Josh Jobe, Mario Goodrich, Zach McPherson. You really have nothing proven back there. So you might have to get your corner of the future, your number one guy, have him learn with Slay for this year as the number 2, and then take over, because the cornerback position is we're going to be in big trouble after this year, because we're going to be probably losing Slay. I don't know. Right. It's going to be tough.
Right. Philosophobic. His Dave Super J goes, look out for the running back from Texas A&M. Yeah, you're going to drug test me. I read that one. Yeah, I don't need a drug test. I'm just thinking outside the box here. I'm just thinking outside the box. Paul says, curse Gannon. Yeah, curse Gannon. Dude, I'm glad Gannon's I'm glad he's gone, I really am. Chris Graham says, Joey Porter, no meeting. Joey Porter's another guy I like. I think he's going to be good. I don't know. You said you had the list of meetings, right? With some of these guys,
from today I do. Like I have the running backs and I think offensive line.
Well, what running backs did they meet with?
Let me see. Hold on, I got it here. Oh, hold on, I gotta go. I got it right here. All right, so there's offensive defense. Okay, so they interviewed Dorian Thompson, the QB, Dorian Thompson Robinson, the QB from UCLA, which is like another Jalen Hurts skill set type quarterback that they're looking at. Tank Bigsby from Auburn, which is an interesting one. You have Roxon Johnson, running back from Texas, Jahmyr Gibbs, running back from Alabama, Chase Brown, running back from Illinois, Kendre Miller, running back from TCU, Jalen Reed, wide receiver, Michigan State, Marvin Mims, wide receiver, Oklahoma, Osiris Torrance from Florida, Cody Mauch, offensive tackle from North Dakota State, Azim Richards, offensive tackle, North Carolina, Matthew Bergeron, offensive tackle, Syracuse, Darnell Wright, offensive tackle, Tennessee, Wayne Morris, offensive tackle, Oklahoma, Broderick Jones, offensive tackle, Georgia, Andrew Voorhees, guard, USC. Defensively, a few people here. Isaiah Foskey on the edge, Notre Dame, Byron Young, edge, Tennessee, Jervon Dexter Sr., IDL, Florida, Byron Young, IDL, Alabama, Brandon Joseph, safety, Notre Dame, Antonio Johnson, safety, Texas A&M, Garrett Williams, cornerback, Syracuse, and Keely Ringo from Georgia. That's your list.
So it's interesting. I don't worry too much about the list at the combine. It's the visits. That's where I think we're going to find out the visits, because sometimes they won't spend time at a combine with a guy they're not going to, they know that they're going to have come in for a visit later. So I'm not too worried about it. Big D says people stay underestimating the potential of any running back behind its offensive line. You don't need to overinvest, and that's a very good thing. Yeah, you don't need to overinvest in a running back to go behind its line and be productive. I agree. But what happens when you put a great running back behind a great offensive line? You're talking ridiculous numbers. So yeah, you're right. You don't need it to have a guy go out there and have production. But when you have that running back to go with the offensive line, it could be special. It could be special. Jose Jones, thank you for super chat. He goes, who would pair with Dean at linebacker, draft or free agent? Great question. So they could lose Kaiser White and TJ Edwards, right? I guess my guess is TJ Edwards has more likely of a chance of going. I don't think he's going to be back.
Me neither.
Yeah, are they going to draft the linebacker? I think you have to go out and sign one. I think you have to bring back Kaiser White, and then you have really two undersized linebackers. No?
Well, there's what's his face from the Rams, the ex Seahawk. What's his name? That's available. Longtime linebacker for Seattle. What was his name? That went to
Wagner, Billy Wagner.
Wagner was the second.
He's out there.
I think from CBS they had us as a second best landing spot for him.
How much would it cost us though? I mean, he's going to require money. If you could get him cheap for 1 year, I don't mind. He had 80+ tackles last year.
Yeah, he was top 10 last year in tackles for loss, so it was good.
Yeah, I would get him. I would get him. Now did Desai have him at all in Seattle? Was he there long enough to work with him?
I don't think so. I don't think he has anything to do with him at all.
Yeah. Shane Davis Super Chat goes, once we pay Hurts, we're going to have to depend on how he drafting. And if he drafts scrubs, we're screwed. We almost certainly lose AJ or Smith because of cap. You're not going to lose Devontae. No. You'll lose AJ before you lose Devontae because he'll be older. But he won't be that much older, actually. But I don't see that happening. I mean, that's 2 years down the road. And the other thing with the Hurts and the cap is they're not going to structure the contract in a way that it's going to hurt the cap this year or next year. They'll get 2 good years out of it. That's what they'll get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, Big D says, I think Ringo's the best choice, but will he be available? I think he'll be available at 10.
At 10? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, dude, the play may be Jalen Carter. I'm saying, like, if this stuff comes and it's only misdemeanors and it's only racing and nothing else comes of it, man, because I mean, you can't get a better replacement for Hargrave as a rookie. You know, I mean, geez, and then to pair him with Jordan Davis,
yeah,
man, I don't know. I it's hard for me not to do it. You know, the question is anything else coming to this? David Super Chat goes, as much as I understand what you're saying, Philly, personally, as a Sooners fan, drafting a Longhorn running back at 10 is preposterous. That's fine. I totally get it. I totally get it.
I'll be shocked.
I would be shocked too. Believe me, I don't expect it to happen. But I look at the roster and the way they're going to make this team. How do you make this team ready to go back to the Super Bowl? I don't think you can just construct it the exact same way that you constructed it last year. Like I said, you're not going to replace guys. So I try to think outside the box. How do you become better? How do you become more lethal? How do you become scarier? And I'm thinking with an aggressive defensive coordinator who's a little more aggressive, has been successful with not tons of talent, even less talent than what he's going to have next year. Maybe it's to make your offense have no holes at all. You know, Samuel Rowe, a.k.a. Landlord from Wakanda, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, please keep Slay and Bradbury any above average corner. I would love to keep those guys. I would love to keep those guys. I don't know how you can do it, though. You know, I think Bradbury's gone. And then I think Slate goes into another year. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
unfortunately, Shane Dave, and that's why number 10 corner may be the pick. Yeah. Really, Shane, David Superche goes, there can no longer be trying to be the smartest in the room. Take the best skills player available. O-line in the first isn't our strength. We only hit on lane. I don't know that I think they're going to – when we have free agency and we see what they do free agent-wise, we'll have a way better idea of the draft. Right. Because let's say in free agency they spend some money, they get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back, they get Brandon Graham back, but then after that it's kind of offensive moves, like a third wide receiver, maybe another running back. Then I'm pretty sure they're going defense really early in this draft and often. But if they bring back defensive players, then I'm going to not be so sure.
Yeah, true.
Marshall Chambers, favorite super chat. He goes, I agree with your logic, 500, but the smart move is what Joey's saying. We need a corner of the future. I mean, you're really depending on an injured off Maddox. He's the only corner with long term. No, I totally get it. And when you're dealing, I guess my thought process isn't long term. I'm not thinking about 3-4 years down the road. I'm literally thinking about how do you get back to the Super Bowl? How do you get back next year? Because you look at the NFC conference, it's weak. I mean, you got no Aaron Rodgers, right? He's probably going. They're talking about the Jets. And then you have Brady. He's gone. It's like, who's really that great in the NFC that scares you? Nobody. So I don't know that it would take a whole lot to get back. That's where my head is. But, yeah, in regards to probably building long-term the smart way, yeah, I don't think the Eagles will take Bijan Robinson at 10. I don't. I don't. Paul Fair, David Super Chat goes, YouTube is censoring my super chats. I believe it. They censor mine all the time. Every time I type anything, like I can't say anything, and I always have to undo the whole thing.
We gotta think too. Like, we don't have any 4th to 6th round picks. Like, we got to figure out how they're doing that too. And I think a Quez Watkins trade that's apparently going on, or they're thinking about doing it and pulling the trigger, which, Watkins had a really down year this year, and he didn't have a great year. There was, certain times where he made some mistakes. He had some crucial drops, obviously the Super Bowl, and, the Eagles are bringing in some wide receivers right now. And I've watched guys like Jaden Reed from Michigan State, guys that could line up in the slot for the short stuff, and have some big special teams pedigree towards them. So I think they're kind of looking for somebody that's got a little bit of both that could start, or they could be a depth guy and start on special teams as well. So I don't know what you think about the Quez Watkins situation. What do you think they should do at that situation? But
I think, me personally, I would, and this may be not what everybody thinks anyways, but I would keep Quez. I still think there's something there. I still think he has talent. I would just bring in somebody to compete with him, and I'd have open competition. I mean, what are you going to get for him in a trade? You're not going to get a 3rd round pick. Nobody's going to give you a 4th round pick. If you're lucky, a 5th in 2025. I don't know what you can get for him. So to me, it's like, what I would do is I would draft number 1, both my number 1 picks, take my 2nd pick, trade back my 2nd pick, get like a late 2nd, another, get a 2nd, maybe make it a couple 3rds and a 5th, and add that way. But I don't know what Quez could get you. I still think Quez has upside, dude. I do.
They have to draft an offensive lineman this year. They have to get somebody in there that has some promise too. I mean, even if you trade back that 2nd round pick, that's, and get more picks depending on what they do, but they got to get another offensive lineman in here, because
most likely, let's be honest, most likely the Eagles are taking a defensive lineman. This is like right up their alley in this draft. That's why I think Jalen Carter's the one to watch, dude. I'm telling you, he's going to drop, but he's not going to drop as much as everybody's saying.
Yeah.
Like, I think maybe 10 spots, because he might have probably been the first pick overall in the entire draft. Shane, they were super chat. He goes, they close in age. If it comes down to it, I think Hurts will favor AJ because that's his guy. Only 25, and me personally, I keep Smith, but quarterback 1 will pick. My thoughts are this. By the time that we get to the situation, right, I think Devontae Smith is going to be so far superior as the number one because I think I love AJ Brown, but I think Devontae is just like, dude, I think he's Rocket Man. Like I think he's shooting up, and I think he's just going to be so far ahead that you're going to have to keep him. You know, like
and Brian Johnson, I'm pretty excited to see if he opens the playbook a little bit more and maybe attacks with Devontae Smith a little bit more. Like Devontae Smith earlier in the season, they really didn't attack with him and AJ Brown at the same time until a few things have changed. You know, they had some injuries. Dallas Goedert getting injured probably changed a lot of that, where they had to put too much into it. So
yeah. Steven Davis Super Chat goes, any chance we take Washington a tight end at 30? I don't think they're gonna take a tight end at 30. It's probably now. I talked the whole Bijan Robinson. That's just my opinion on maybe strategy, but most likely they're probably going to replenish in the draft defensively, which makes me believe. Watch out for the Saquon Barkley or the surprise signing. I think the thing that you got to do before free agency starts, obviously. You got to get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson done. I think you should try to get Brandon Graham done. I think those two guys need to get done. But you got to restructure. You got to restructure with Darius Slay. That's what.
And Lane.
12 and Lane. That would free up about $23 million. Something like that.
They haven't done nothing yet.
That money. But they just hired their defensive coordinator last week, a couple days ago. I
know.
But that's my thought. Shane says Carter ain't dropping that far. He won't make it past. He might not make it past 6. He might not. But if he makes it to 10 and he's on the board, I am drafting him so fast. I'll write that thing down. I'll be flipping out because to me, you can't replace Hargrave with anything better than that. And he still won't go out and have 11 sacks his rookie year. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So. No matter how you look at this defense, we are going to lose players that it's very hard to replace their production, especially with rookies. So you can draft rookies like Christian Gonzalez at 10, and you could take another player at 30. Okay, that'll help you 2-3 years down the road. What's going to help you next year? How do you go back to the Super Bowl? Because this team was one drive away from winning the whole thing. Because if they get the ball back, they're winning the game.
Minute and a half left. Yeah,
they don't get that. They're winning that. They win in the game.
Right.
So how do you get back to that level in one all season? That's what I think.
I get it.
Brandon says Philly has 4 defensive stars on contract. They aren't signing any big contracts on offense. Don't be surprised. I'm not sure about. I'm not saying it's going to be huge, but I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if Howie does something on a 1-year deal. Maybe it is like a Swift type situation because Swift is one of those boomer bust guys. If Swift stays healthy, then you got the back. You got the back that we're talking about, right? You got the back you're talking about. Derrick Henry, I don't know what he's making in a trade, But to me, why would Tennessee want to trade him to Buffalo when you could trade him out of conference? So I don't know. I don't know, but I think that the idea is not just to build the roster for 2 or 3 years. I don't want to take a step back for 2 years and then try to win it again. Like I want to go back and win it this year.
Yeah, I don't think he's hitting the reset button at all. So I don't either. I think Howie's going to do something. I don't know what it is, and a lot of my stuff with Robinson, it's just ideas of what could be going on. But I believe Howie's going to make a couple moves that are going to blow us away, and we're going to go, oh yeah, now we see what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
I believe that. Tortiville says, I think the Eagles are going to trade down twice. I bet we trade down from 10 to 15 for more picks and trade down to 30 and early. That would not surprise me whatsoever. Yeah. But my only advice to Howie is this. Draft SEC. Christian Gonzalez, fine. But other than that, SEC. Stay with SEC,
Mm-hmm.
Wishful thinking, but Carter's not dropping to 10. We have to trade up if anything. Well, if he got to like 8, I would do it. You know what I mean? Paul Firth, they were super check. Carter, if he drops, then Gonzalez. Yeah, I agree. I like Gonzalez a lot. I do. The question is, will the Eagles take a corner at 10? That's a question we have to ask ourselves. They haven't drafted a corner in the first since Lito Shepherd.
Yeah.
Jose Jones, David Super Chat. Thoughts on a quarterback from UCLA as a backup? Oh, yeah, I saw a little bit on that kid. That guy, his name slipped in my mind.
Drew, Tom, I forgot.
Yeah, they met with him. Did they meet with him? I can't remember if they met with him.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I mean, I think a rookie like that, I don't think he can be a backup. I think he's got to be your third string backup, not your second string backup. I think you have to still go out and get a veteran quarterback.
Draft analysis has him as I don't know if it means as a backup projection, which means, does it mean a backup, just a regular backup projection, or just in general, he's just going to be a second, third string backup. But the same, what they did with Minshew and having two different quarterbacks, from a pocket passer to a guy that obviously knows how to use his legs, like they literally threw Minshew in a Jalen Hurts system when he took over, where it could have been in the first seed. We could have had a lot more rest with our guys earlier. And it was horrible. It was pretty bad. Like, they literally, I don't know what they did with him all week, but they need to get another quarterback that has almost the same skill set as Jalen Hurts. This way they don't have to change too much with their offense. They don't have to do too much to it, and I think that will help a lot.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Totally agree. We got 403 people in here total. Thank you guys so much. I can't, dude. I told you, like, I don't think we're gonna have that many people. But thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Shane Dever super chat. He goes, they'd be foolish not to take a cornerback high. Look how Sauce changed the Jets. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
That.
I'd go cornerback, defensive line, running back, offensive tackle, wide receiver, safety, in that order. You need playmakers on D. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with it. I can't disagree with it, especially for the future.
You talk about the Jets, right? So they drafted Sauce. So where did Breece Hall get? What round did Breece Hall get drafted? Breece Hall's a beast. I forgot when they.
I don't remember when it was. It was they had a couple first round picks last year, right?
Yeah, I think so.
They had a couple firsts. I don't know how. I don't remember. I don't remember. That whole draft is a blur to me, dude. The Matt Corral jerseys were out. They're coming back out this year. LT Silver, thank you. Thank you, man, for being here. Says, do you think the Eagles will use their 30th pick or trade the 30th pick? I think it's 50-50. But I'm going to say this. I also think they can use that pick and trade up. They don't have to trade one of the first to only get more picks. They still have a second they could trade back, too. And they have an extra second in the following year draft
24.
They could use. So, Stephen Davis Super Chat goes, Gibbs at 31 would change the offense completely. I don't disagree with you. I'm a big fan of Gibbs. Runs a 4.3. Catch better. Yeah, he's better catcher than Bijan Robinson. I love the kid Porter Jr. I love Porter Jr. at 10. Great, 6'2", 195. Just a little handsy. That needs to be cleaned up. Do you think Porter Jr. Do you think he could be a safety?
He's got the size for it. Just depends.
I mean, I've seen him at corner, but I'm thinking, dude, I would think put him at safety.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Rock the Artist says, "What's up, Joey?"
What's up, Rock? Come on, man.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. Connor Carson's 500 just joined. The only right thing in my eyes is get Johnson back and Brandon Graham and maybe Hargrave and draft Gonzalez and try your best to get Robinson a generational talent. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think free agency, your own free agents, I think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is imperative. Even if I have to use a franchise tag, I have to bring him back. I think Brandon Graham said he wants to play 2 more years.
Yeah.
I think he wants to play in Philly. I think he can play. I think you could work a deal out with him where you give him a lot of upfront money and things like that. So I think there's a deal to be had with Brandon Graham and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Hargrave seems very hard to me, especially when you hear the interest, like the Bears are interested in him. A lot of teams are going to go after him.
Jim Schwartz is from the Browns. He's interested in Fletcher Cox.
He wants Brandon Graham.
Yeah, yeah, he knows him. So
yeah.
Take Derek Barnett off our damn hands. Ask for a trade.
You can have Barnett. Take Barnett.
What are they doing with him?
Is he a free agent or has he got one more year?
He's on contract for one more year.
Oh my God! Will this guy just go away? I mean, you think, I'm sorry, but you think it's a coincidence? Team's not there all year. We don't have any, like, we're not getting offsides every week. It's not like getting these ridiculous penalties at the end of the game. And we go to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. God, you just gotta go. Rakoya, thank you for the super chat, my man. He goes, Fuzz from Australia. My daughter Miriam and me enjoy watching you both. Just had her 5th birthday a couple days ago, and she wanted to say Cowboys still stink. She is very smart for a 5-year-old. We got to tell you that. Definitely. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. That you guys are watching. Thank you. Joey, don't curse too much. We got a 5-year-old watching.
I haven't cursed. I'm good. It's not a bad day today. We're good.
It's a bad day for me. If I show you this phone or the amount of texts I've gotten from people wanting these cats, it's just like, oh. Shane, thank you for a super chat. He goes, at some point, you can't keep using the same strategy and expect different results. The Jets drafted all playmakers, and they were impactful from day one. I mean, but the thing is, like, you look at a guy like, you look at what's his face, the corner, right? You knew he was Sauce Gardner. I mean, we were all pretty much saying last year that dude is going to be an instant impact player. I mean, he was going to be that good. The thing about them that's funny is I think it's funny talking about not doing the same thing. They're talking about trading for another Green Bay Packer quarterback. They traded for Brett Favre to the Jets. If you guys remember, that lasted only 1 year. Now they're going to go for Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. So
crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. Paul says, David goes, Bradbury's 30. He's not coming back. He's not coming back. No. MC says, I think people are sleeping on Ringo. I like Gonzalez, but Gibbs' stock went up for me. And don't sleep on Tankdale Beast in the slot. Oh, I agree. I like Johnny Ringo. I just want to say that name.
Fucking Johnny. Sorry.
Every time I'm streaming, I want to be like, every time he knocks the ball out of CeeDee Lamb's hand, I'm like, Johnny Ringo just walked all over your grave. Yes. But Johnny Ringo, you broke up that play.
Yeah, and what I like about Ringo a lot too is he uses his body to box out receivers really well. Like he's got a big body and he's so quick. Pause. So
yeah,
could be a lot of that.
Ray Lester said you've been trying to get rid of Bournette for 2 years. What up, guys? You ain't kidding.
We were
says,
sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
We were on stream, that's what happened last night. We were on stream randomly. I was doing a free agent stream. Philly wanted to join, and we joined up, and it was weird because Philly was like, "Oh, there's rumors about Barnett being signed," and all of a sudden I go on Twitter while we're streaming, and he signed a 2-year deal with the Eagles. It was crazy, bro.
We have to do that again this year for free agency. David says, "I'm terrified of you drafting Bijan." So a Cowboy fan is terrified of us drafting Bijan. Let that increase my argument then. That the offense would be scary. It would be scary. Like if you're scoring 30, I mean, a guy like that, you could run the ball with 2 in the fourth quarter he's a 3-down back. Now you move in and you come in with Kenneth Gainwell kind of change of pace. I don't know, man. See, I always look at why not strengthen your strength? I used to play Risk, right? You ever play Risk?
Yeah.
The board game?
Right.
And you have your countries and you put your armies on there, right? And so we play, me and my friend, we always play. And my friends would always stretch themselves too thin. I would just build up, keep building up, take one country, go back and keep building up. And then, I always made my strengths stronger. And then at the end, I just destroyed everybody. But I mean, that's kind of how I look at it.
But you have to if you draft the running back at 10, you gotta utilize him. You can't do this thing where Gainwell's gonna get the passes and Bijan's just gonna run. What's his face? Gibbs as well. Gibbs is like an Alvin Kamara clone. I mean, you can line he could be a receiver. You could line him up. You could have him wide out. So you got to utilize these guys. I didn't like how Miles Sanders still has a lot of tread. He still has a lot of tread left. You know what I mean? Like, in 2019, how Doug used him in the passing game, on those wheel routes against linebackers, those big mismatches they had thrown to him on stride, like fantastic. And then barely ran with him in 2020, 21, when Nick took over play calling 6 to 7 games, we barely used him. 5 to 6 games this past year, we barely ran him in the first half. And I don't know why they limited him just to run the ball and to not be a receiving back.
But I think that's not because it's how they use the running back. I don't think they like them that much. I don't think they trust him on third downs. I don't think they trust him in the passing game. He only played the 2 years Nick Sirianni was coach. He's only played in half of the offensive plays. That's not good.
I believe it.
And then you look at his production. You're going, he's only playing in half the offensive plays. Makes no sense. And I'm sorry, but Super Bowl, he came up small. He came up really small. Thank David Super Chat. He goes, Jets drafted Sauce at 4. Great pick. Garrett Wilson at 10. Another great pick. Jermaine Johnson, 26. That Bryce Hall, 36. There you go.
Okay.
Kenneth Walker was second-round pick.
God.
Guess who drafted those guys? Guess who that was? Joe Douglas. Shane, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, you can see it, though. I've seen it with Pat Surtain, and now I see it with Witherspoon and Gonzalez. If Carter's at 10, cool. But if not, you got to go cornerback 100. Yeah, I have no problem going corner. And let me tell you, I asked the question about would they draft a corner at 10? And that would be a question. But I think they would, because I think speaking of Surtain, wasn't the Eagles, weren't they looking at Surtain at 10 the whole time? And then he went early, which then they went to Devontae Smith.
Right. Yeah, I think that's changed it up. Yeah.
So, yeah, I love risks too.
But
it was when video games still, were video games.
But I think, like we said, we're talking about the draft right now, but I think free agency is going to really designate an idea of
it will.
It's really early. We're going to get into it next couple of weeks. It's going to get crazy. So it will designate what we're doing. And like you said, we just hired Desai, our defensive coordinator. We got a lot of stuff. We were in the Super Bowl, so everything gets done a little bit later than expected. And I don't think they even. I think with Steichen leaving, I think they already had the idea of Brian Johnson being there because they never interviewed any offensive coordinators, but they had their choices at DC. Try to go out of the ring out of the box to get some college coaches in there. Denard Wilson's probably gone now. Looks like Sean Desai is hiring his own coaching staff or his own staff on defense. Yeah. So I think Denard Wilson's gone for cornerback coach.
Probably. I just hope that he is more aggressive than Steichen. You got to be more aggressive, especially if you don't have the talent you have. I think you have to be a little more aggressive. You have to try to make plays. Trade back, Tortyville says, and get Gibbs, and then the tight end Washington from Georgia, that tight end early, and then use the rest of the picks from the trade down and compensatory to address defense. You have to pick Howie has to be he has to be hitting on those late picks, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
But Sean Robinson at 30 is reasonable. I don't know if he gets to 30. I don't think he's going to make 30. I do think he'll make it to 18, 19, 20. And I'm thinking maybe you go up with your 30th pick and get him. So maybe at 10 you take a Christian Gonzalez. And then if Bijan Robinson's sitting there 18, 19, 20, boom, you move back up. You take him. And then now we're talking. For sure not 10, but Bijan slides deep into the 20s, maybe. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Bryce, what's going on, my man? Dead Night Dances, I love this year almost as much as 2017, and you guys made it even better. Thank you, man. We appreciate that.
Appreciate it, man.
We appreciate that. Tortyville says, Bijan will be gone by 30. He doesn't make sense for the Eagles because of that. They could get Gibbs late in the first or second, not blow a pick. I don't mind Gibbs at all. I can live with Gibbs. I'm not even opposed to DeAndre Swift. I just worry about his health.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What would he cost, the Eagles? That would be the question. Listen. I tell you, I don't mind a big surprise in free agency of a Saquon or Derrick Henry trade. Like, I would love it.
The great thing about Howie Roseman is that even if he loses out on a player, there's always a plan B. He's not done. He's not just going to give up. He's going to stay aggressive in what he wants to do. That's what I like about Howie.
You'll know if Howie's got something cooking if he restructures a couple of these contracts, especially Darius Slay and Lane. And he's got all of a sudden the Eagles got $30 million under the cap. Watch out.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the way they're going to structure Hurts' contract, it'll be an extension that'll kick in next year, and then it won't go against the cap this much. You know what I mean?
Right.
Love Weed says, go get Carson Wentz back. I heard Carson's going to Dallas. I don't want anything. Carson, no, I don't want him back. Just Call Me Flair says, guys, remember this year, we better than the last 28 years for Dallas. That's true. That's true. Let me ask you a question. Now, I don't know. I can't tell if this is real or just like bullcrap. Is Washington really closing in on a Lamar Jackson trade?
There was Adam Schefter video that was
that a joke or was that real?
I don't think it was.
I thought
real.
It was a joke. I think it was he was joking around, right? And then I saw a fake Ian Rappaport talking about like Washington gets if Washington gets Lamar Jackson, they're our primary challenge. Instantly.
I agree. Yeah.
They would be the second best team in the division. Yeah, it's gotta be. Washington's too stupid to do that anyways.
Yeah.
Washington would probably give up Washington would probably have to give up like 3 first-round picks and stuff like that. Twiggle says, as long as Snyder's running Washington, not worried about them. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be running them much longer. Woogie is going to the Panthers. Oh, Frank Reich. I don't think Frank Reich wants anything to do with him anymore. I don't think Frank.
No, I mean he stuck his neck out of the Colts organization and bring him in and promise all these great things and what he did in the Super Bowl and coaching him up, and I don't think he's going to have that chance again to do the same.
Wentz is going to be a backup quarterback somewhere.
He's not. He's got to get humbled.
He's going to be a backup. So. He needs like 2 years to be a backup and be humbled. He does.
He needs to go into a dark retreat. like Aaron Rodgers, a dark retreat in his cave. Think about
the Amazon guy wants to buy the command. The Bezos guy wants to buy the.
It's a joke at this point. It's a joke.
Like, why didn't he just get in his spaceship and get the fuck out of here? Sorry, 5-year-old in the room. I forgot as a 5-year-old. I apologize. I can't stand that guy. Frank Reich has Matt Corral. He does. Listen, Matt Corral is great for draft jerseys. You know what I mean? But that's about it. Shane Davis Super Chat goes, Gonzalez or Witherspoon at 10. Defensive tackle from Pitt. Oh, Kalijah Kancey. Yes.
Yeah.
Gibbs is the second after that. It's fair game. You get combo for them play. Would you think they would do Kalijah Kancey? Because I think they might.
It would be interesting. Late first rounder.
You're talking about losing. You're talking about losing 2 guys. Cox and him. Hargrave, right? The Eagles might want to bring in another defensive tackle.
They're going to have to.
Yeah, Elon Musk is one of the 2 spaceship guys. The other one is what's his face? And I say him because I think he's sending his girlfriend to the moon or to space or something. I'm sorry I cursed earlier. I didn't mean to. I forgot there was a young one in. 1HB says, what's going on in Philly? And Joey in Philly. And when you all get a chance, please look up Fernie Orgy. Is that what it says?
I don't know.
Oh man! Welcome to the off season.
I know the draft.
Sorry if I said the name wrong. Jay College says, "Hey Philly and Joey, are you guys wearing Matt Corral jerseys?" Yeah, I got my Matt Corral jersey all already hanging up. It's ready to go, man. Wentz last a week in New York? Probably not. Marie says, don't sleep on Ringo. I like Johnny Ringo. Others say the Cox should be picked up. Yes. Hargrave is signing here. No way how is that? I hope so, Chris Scott. To me, if you somehow could keep Hargrave and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, then definitely say go get a corner in the draft.
$20 million a year. I mean, that's his market's like at $20 million. It's just, can they get him for cheaper than that? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Thanks. He's I know he's a real player. I know he is.
The way Philly reads shit. Orgy.
It's just the way I read it. Buccaneers are another spot for Woogie. That's true.
Woogie quit.
But I don't think he's going to be a starter though. He's going to back up somebody. Kalijah Cansey is unblockable. Check out his tape. He will be defensive. Yeah, I was watching his tape. And I was really surprised at his measurements. Like they're almost on par with Aaron Donald. So I'm not saying he's the next Aaron Donald, but same school, same size and build kind of. He's an interesting guy. I wouldn't have him. I wouldn't mind it at all. I wouldn't mind him.
Yeah.
This won't happen, but would you consider re-signing all key players and trade Hurts for a boatload of picks and then draft a quarterback this year? You have the quarterback on a rookie deal 4 to 5 years. No, and the reason I couldn't do it because just because you have a quarterback on a rookie deal doesn't mean he's going to play to the level that Hurts played. I just don't think that's going to happen. And then the guys you're bringing back, you're talking about 30-year-old guys. So in 2 years, where are we going to be? And we have talking about a quarterback who we know nothing about. Let's see here. I know we won't, but I like take Bijan on 10 and the best wide receiver at 30, make our defense dominant, our offense dominant for next 4 years. Quarterback is deep, but we can get depth. Listen, Marcel Carter, I don't know if you were here earlier, but that's kind of what I was throwing out there as an idea.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back in like 2 seconds.
Right.
Give me 1 second.
Okay, cool. Joey finally got to answer his phone, but it's on the channel. It's on the stream. How about that? Wentz just signed with Johnson & Johnson. They have the poster child. Oh, my God. That's great. Poster child of softness. I love it. I love Weeze. As a Cowboy guy, only Eagles I watch. Philly 500 Joey. You all funny and cool. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Chris Scott says, Cansey won't last past the mid-first round. Teams are going to fall in love with him. I'm thinking he's going to go top 10. I mean, forget mid-first round. I'm thinking top 10. It's going to be interesting, right? It's going to be interesting because I'm thinking 4 quarterbacks are going to go now. So we'll see. And Joey, so you finally answer your phone.
Yeah.
1HP says, remember, Philly, when I told you the day before Super Bowl when the Cardinals was going to interview again and you and Joey didn't believe it? Laugh out when it happened. Yeah, right. Now you think about it, I do remember that. Yeah, that's crazy because, Gannon, I didn't think so because Gannon says, I'm not going anywhere, win or lose. And then he goes. Well, but I'm glad he went. And this is why the Cardinals always stink.
Right.
For moves like this. I can't believe he got a head coaching job. I just can't believe it.
To a team that wasn't even really rumored. It was that night and just left him in Philadelphia that night. That was it. Left him in Arizona that night, and that was pretty much it.
Right. Bijan will get figured out our pre-draft and free agency. A lot of running backs changing teams next week. A lot of running backs changing teams next week. And I know that nobody's thinking the Eagles are going to do anything there. I'm not so sure. Did the Eagles not try to trade for Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah, they offered a 4th or a 5th round. They gave 1 pick. That was it.
But what I'm saying is the fact that they felt the need to do it. What are they looking for? Even when you had Miles Sanders,
right?
I would not. I'm telling you right now, it will not shock me if the Eagles take a running back in free agency.
Right.
Spend a little bit of money on there. But we'll have a better idea once we hear they restructured guys' contracts like Slay and Lane Johnson. Then we'll know something's coming.
True.
So we'll see. Yeah, there has been Saquon rumors with the Eagles linked to him, but they're just like they're hard to talk about because I don't know if they're real or not.
Yeah, it looks like they might tag him.
Yeah. If they can work are you going to give? Are they really going to give $45 million to Daniel Jones?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm not even sure.
Good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
T-Bone says, "Hey, Philly 500 Joey Shakes, shake it up, Joey, shake it up. See how he packaging our 30 and one of our ones next year to move inside the top 10, giving us 2 top 10s. Who do you take?" I would probably go one of the defensive tackles and then a corner. That would probably be what I would do.
Yeah. Trench is definitely defensive line and cornerback is number one.
What would I like to see them do? Do defensive tackle and then take Bijan Robinson at some point. Shane Davis Super Chat, he goes, "I think Hurts is solid, but I don't think he can do what Mahomes just did and carry a lesser talented team to a championship. He had Kelsey and a D full. No, listen, that's going to be a great question, and he's going to have to do it because, especially when you pay a quarterback that money, that's what you're paying them for. That's why they get all that cap space. They got to be able to do what Mahomes just did. It's very, very hard, Toivo says, "I'm off the Carter train now. He has all the measurables, but he doesn't have a lot of production. Only 3 sacks. He was stopped for excessive speeding 90 to 45 less than 2 months prior to tragedy." Yeah, well, that doesn't show good judgment. Like he learns his lesson, But what did he get? Like, did he get a ticket for that?
Yeah, we don't really know all the details. We don't really know all the details.
He's gonna whatchamacallit. He's gonna whatchamacallit. Then I'm getting all these people texting me. It's just a kid. Oh my God. Sorry, just a smart ass comment. I have to text a smart ass back. Oh man, I don't know. It's going to be crazy. We're an hour in. We got over 400 people in the chat. If you're new to the channel, hit that like. Make sure you guys subscribe. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to. When's free agency start?
Technically, when everybody's signed, I don't know. Actually, I gotta look at the date. I always forget every year. I forget.
I think it's like the 13th or something like that. I think it's in like one more week. So the next thing that's going to drop is we got to see if they restructure some contracts,
right? And
then they sign their own guys. Those are the next 2 things ahead. March 13th. Yeah. So we will see.
Right.
I have mad gas today, like drank some eggnog or something. Ew, that's nasty. I haven't had eggnog though, man. I was so disappointed with the eggnog last year.
You bought 6 and should have got like 24.
I should have got 24. How can you not have it the day after Christmas through New Year's? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Because
it's gypped off.
They don't do that because they know they're going to be throwing most of it out if it's not being bought. That's why
all they have to do is give it to me. Shane, they were super chat. He goes, "Just think about it. All off season, they said the Chiefs wouldn't be the same with Mahomes and his best season yet. Walked away with an MVP and Super Bowl." Yeah, it's true. It's true. Mahomes. There's nothing I can say bad about Patrick Mahomes. I hate that they beat us, but man, I did see his brother kissing a chick in a bar and getting in trouble with that. Yeah. So I just was surprised.
The downfall's coming. The downfall's coming.
Yeah. It's crazy. He's like crazier than his brother, and he doesn't even play football. Are we looking for a backup quarterback in this draft or in free agency? I think you have to. I think you have to look for a backup because you're going to lose. What's his face? You're going to lose Minshew, so you need a backup. Yeah,
right.
Who can they afford? I don't know. I would like Marcus Mariota though. That's who I would like to get because I think Marcus Mariota would be a good fit as a back, but he's probably going to want too much money,
Yeah, true.
Juju is annoying as hell. Birds Nation 302 David Super Chat goes, I didn't hear your take on Juju's big mouth. We didn't even talk about Juju's big mouth. What are your thoughts on Juju Smith-Schuster?
I just don't think he takes the game seriously. Like, he got his ring, so I mean, I don't know why he had to really start anything and make all these videos on everybody. And I don't know, it's just ignorant, and he'll never win a ring ever again.
I just think he's a bad winner. Bad winner. You know, not a gracious winner. That's all. I think it's kind of horrible, but it is what it is. King of Kings, David Super Chickens. What up, guys? Miss you guys a bunch. Miss you too, man. Miss you too. Jerry Jones wants Odell. He needs something. Dallas needs something for Dak Prescott, or it's going to be a bad season. But they got McCarthy taking over the plays, which to me is not going to be a good thing. That running game is going to go bye-bye because I don't believe he can run the ball. I don't believe he can stick with the run. When you look at him with Green Bay, he could never do it. One thing Miles got better at last year was pass protection. Any word on who the top 5-6 running backs is best at pass pro coming? No, I don't. I have to look at. I'm not sure yet. We will be talking about that at some point though, but we don't know. Yes, and happy birthday, Jerry Jones. It is his birthday tonight. 1,456 years old. He doesn't look a day over 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
But happy birthday to him. Did you hear him talking? His interview in the Buffs, man. He sounded like he's about ready to croak.
Yeah.
I think Dallas is going to try. I think Dallas is going to do something big. I think they're going to try. See, I think all these teams are going to copy what the Eagles did. They're going to try to copy exactly what the Eagles did, the best that they can. And that's why the Eagles need to stay ahead of the game and do something different. Buddy Ryan would have ate Mahomes. As soon as Mahomes got up with his ankle and he slammed the ball and he was frustrated and he was limping, Buddy Ryan would have tested. Like, you got to bring pressure at that point. You have to blitz him. You have to get to Mahomes at that point and test the ankle.
True.
They didn't do it.
No.
And then the drugs, the pain meds started kicking in. He's and that was it. He was fine. Shane Davis Super J goes, I got no problem with it. They won. It's fair game. He trolled Bradbury and AJ jumped in. He trolled him. Don't like it. You should have done more W. Yeah, I guess. I mean, like I said, it is what it is. I don't get caught up in all that crap. I don't care. I just want to win, I just want to build this team. I like that AJ sticks up for his teams. I like those guys stick up for their guys, But it's going to be interesting. We will be live tomorrow, by the way. Yep. We're going to do a few hours. I don't know if I can do the whole combine, but we're going to do a few hours of the combine tomorrow, probably around, 1:15, somewhere around there. Do it for a couple hours. So look for that. I don't know. Besides that, we're an hour and 12 minutes. Is there anything else, man, you want to say? We get out of here?
We're that's it. I mean, we're getting through the process, and we get through some more positions tomorrow, and that's really it. So we look forward to free agency. We look forward to the Eagles are going to free up more money. Who they're going to re-sign, what the rumors are going to be for that, and hopefully show us, after a couple more weeks, few more weeks, to designate where we're going to the draft and what spots are going to be filled up and how much they're going to really do to this defense, through the process. So we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. I think the next thing that's going to drop, besides maybe signing a few more coaches, I think the next thing that drops is going to be, is definitely going to be. Hold on 1 second, I gotta get this ready. But it's not going to be that. But I think it's going to be the restructuring. I think the next thing we see is restructuring of contracts. I think obviously, Darius Slay's the big contract you want to restructure, and then Lane. That'll feel about $22 million. King of Kings, every Super Chat goes, I'm sorry, but that field had a lot to do with the loss. That field was horrible, man. And then that 90-year-old guy was like, the league basically could kiss my butt. I'm retiring. What the hell is that about, dude?
You don't hear that crazy shit. Like, you don't hear any. I've never heard of that in my life.
No, it's bizarre. Only us would that happen to in the Super Bowl. You know, it's gonna be crazy. I'm Marie says I'm not. To be honest, I'm not a fan of the high school drama. Nah, I'm not. I haven't been in the mood for it lately. Just don't care. Like whatever. I just want this team to be back. I want this team to be back in the Super Bowl next year, man.
Right.
I think the NFC's weak. I think we still have a really good nucleus. We just gotta, figure a way to build it back up.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting. But if you guys haven't, make sure you hit the like, make sure you subscribe. I guess that's pretty much it for tonight's show. We will be back tomorrow if you guys want to come hang out with us.
Okay.
During the day. Should be fun. And just thank you guys for all the support you guys give us. It does mean a lot. Believe me, it matters.
Yeah,
Joey never would have answered his phone.
Oh my! Just get over it. Just get the.
Hey, did you watch something about Mary?
No, I didn't. I put a picture up just to piss everybody off. So that's what I
you gotta watch that movie. I think Joey needs to. Joey said he's got a new chair. They sent him a new chair. I got a chair my ass is beating the hell out of. You hear it squeaking.
Yeah,
I'll have a new chair sent to him, and he said he could sit there for hours. So watch better something about Mary. Watch it.
Right.
In your chair.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do I'm gonna be doing a video on it, and I'll have a code for you guys to go look at the site and check out some of the chairs.
I might have to go buy one.
Products, so
yes, I need a chair. I didn't change chairs because we were on such a win streak.
I'm ready to go.
Cool. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna let you guys go. You guys take care. We will talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Peace
out.
More play. We had one. Yo, you gotta be motherfucking kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
running
from
a. To get off the field on third down. What was that bullshit? That is not right. Tell him more. He's gotta be better, man. Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had enough time for one more play. We had an opportunity to win that game at the end. But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us. I'm upset, but the brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
Yeah, you literally.
The brother screwed us. The brother screwed us. We had an opportunity for one more play.